am Jacy from Craft Life, and I'm here today to teach you how to make a rainbow loom hat. I made mine a Santa hat, but you can make yours with whatever colors you would like to make it with. This hat is not very comfortable. My sister and I like to knit with a loom. This is a hat I knitted, and this is my loom. I used the garter stitch to make this. And in the garter stitch, there are 2 loops on each peg, and you just take the bottom loop over the top each time all the way around. And since the rainbow loom has pegs just like my loom, I decided, why don't I try to make this with rubber bands? And this is what my hat turned out to look like. And I also used this design to make the tangled bangle and my basic phone case. The supplies you will need are your 2 looms, a crochet hook or a rainbow loom hook, and rubber bands. Today I'm using white and red. I used about 4,000 rubber bands, about 1,500 white rubber bands, and 2,500 red rubber bands. Please get your supplies and get ready for step 1. This is step 1. Please take your looms apart. We will only need 4 rows. We will only need 2 big pieces and our 2 small pieces. Now we're going to set up our looms. So we're going to take our first row. Make sure the arrow is pointing away from you. Now take your next row. Make sure the arrow is pointing towards you. You're going to take your small blue piece, put it on the end, and put the other end on it. And push these down. Now we're just going to take our big blue pieces, lay this in the middle, then take your next blue piece and lay this in the middle. Now you're going to get your other pieces. Make sure the arrow is pointing away from you. Place this down. Make sure you can stick your finger in. Take your next row. Make sure the arrow is pointing towards you. Lay it down. Make sure it is even with this row. And now we're going to take our last blue small piece and lay it on the end. So just lay this down. Now make sure your looms are set up like this so we can get ready for step 2. Here's a tip before we start on how to make your hat. As your hat grows inside your loom, you will need to add the same size book to both sides so you can keep your looms level. And I added a folder to the bottom so that I can turn it around easily without having to risk picking up my loom and breaking it after all the work I've done. So now, we're just going to start the bottom row. You're going to take a rubber band, put it on your finger, and twist it around back on. So now you have 2 loops, but it's only 1 rubber band. Now we're going to lay it onto these 2 pegs in an X. So stretch it out, place it on 1 peg, and twist it in an X to the other. Now push it down. Now we're going to take another rubber band, put it on your finger, twist it around. Now stretch it out. And you're going to make an X on these 2 pegs. Right now we're making the bottom row, just like I showed you in my knitting loom. And we're going to add another row over this so we can take our bottom loops over the top like the garter stitch. Now take another rubber band, put it on your finger, twist it around, and make an X on these 2 pegs. And push it down. It looks like you have 4 loops on this peg because you do, but you don't have 4 rubber bands. You only have 2 rubber bands. Now we're going to take another rubber band, put it on your finger, twist it around, and make an X on your next 2 pegs. stretch it out, and make an X. And push it down. Now take another rubber band, twist it around your finger, stretch it out, and make an X on these two pegs. And push it down. Now you're going to continue this all the way around, making your bottom row until you get back to this peg, and I'll be right back. I've just finished laying all my X's all the way around, and it took me a very long time to do, so that's why I didn't do it on camera. And when you get to this peg, some people just take this over the top and place this one down and put it back on. But for me, you're just going to twist another rubber band on your finger and just lay an X on top of both of those rubber bands and push it down. Now we're going to lay our top row. So take another rubber band. I'm using the same color. You can use whatever color you would like to use. And you're going to go from here to here. Now we're going to go down and keep going down. And don't push them down because this is our top row and we don't want it to get mixed in with our bottom row. So keep going down, down, down. And you're just going to continue this all the way around. This is going to take me some time and I'm not going to do it on camera, so I'll be right back. When you get to this peg, in some of my other videos, I have you pick this rubber band up, but instead you're just going to lay it right down. Now we're going to take our bottom rows over the top, which is called bringing your row down. And there are clearly 2 rows on our pegs, just like we have on the knitting loom. And what you want to do is take your 4 loops, it's only 2 rubber bands, but your 4 loops over the top and just let go. Now we're going to go to our next one. Take your next 4 loops over the top and let go and push this down. Now take your next 4 loops, 2 rubber bands, pull this over the top and let go. Then grab your next 4 loops, pull these over the top and let go and push these down. Now grab your next 4 loops, pull these over the top and let go. Make sure you take all 4 loops each time and grab your next 4 loops over the top and let go. Now you're just going to continue this all the way around until you get back where you started. I'll be right back. I've just finished bringing down my row, and now I just pushed all my loops down because this is now my next bottom row. Now you're just going to continue laying rubber bands in a clockwise rotation and bringing down your row in a counterclockwise rotation. And remember that you have a bottom row and a top row, and always keep your bottom row pushed down, and there are 2 loops per bottom row, and you just bring those over the top each time. But remember, you keep them separated. And when you switch the color, you're just going to lay your color down, and there's nothing special, you just do another row with it. And that's all. To count your rows, you can count every V that you see or the spaces in between the lines. And I am sorry I cannot sit here and do 71 rows on camera, but you can do these while I'm gone. And I did 22 white rows and 49 red rows. But if you're making your own kind of hat, you can make it however many rows you want to make it and however many colors you would like to make it. I'll be right back. I just wanted you to know, for your 71 rows, you're just going to lay your rubber bands normally in a clockwise rotation all the way around. Just lay them normally all the way around. And once you get to the end, you're going to take your bottom row. I have 2 rubber bands, and it's going to stay 2 rubber bands each time throughout your whole hat, and bring them over the top in a counterclockwise rotation. You're going to continue this for 71 more rows. And remember, lay your rubber bands in a clockwise rotation and bring down your row in a counterclockwise rotation. I'll be right back. I've just finished my 71 rows. 22 rows were white and 49 rows were red. I used 1,000 white rubber bands and 2,500 red rubber bands for a total of 3,500 rubber bands. So I used 3,500 rubber bands to make this hat. Every time my hat grew, I would add a book to the side. I made sure they were equal so that my looms would be level. And I pushed my looms down so that they won't break. And I had a total of 5 books. I also added a folder on the bottom so that I could turn my looms around without having to pick my loom up. And you don't want to pick your loom up or else it might break. So remember, keep pushing your looms down. Now I'm going to start hooking. So there are 2 loops on this peg. I'm going to take the bottom loop, which is this loop, over the top. Make sure it latches this loop on and put it on the peg in front of it. Now there are 3 loops on this peg. We're going to take our very bottom loop over the top. Make sure it latches all your loops and put it on the peg in front of it. Now we have 3 loops on this one. We're going to grab this bottom rubber band. So stick your hook in, grab your bottom rubber band over the top and onto the peg in front of it. Now we're going to grab our bottom rubber band. Make sure it latches on all your loops. Put it on the peg in front of it. Now grab your bottom loop over the top and onto the peg in front of it. Now we're going to grab our bottom loop. Make sure it latches on and put it on the peg in front of it. Now you're going to grab your next bottom loop over the top and onto the peg in front of it. Now you're going to continue this all the way around your loom until you got back to where you started, and I'll be right back. This is what it should look like after you have hooked all the way around. Make sure you have taken your bottom loop over the top each time. And now we're going to sew up our whole entire hat. But to do that, we need to make a single strand. So to start, we're going to take a rubber band, twist it on your hook so that you make an X. Now you're going to grab another rubber band, pull these through, and put it back on. Now grab another rubber band, put it on your hook, pull these through, and put it back on. Now you're going to grab another rubber band, put it on your hook, pull these through, and put it back on. Grab another rubber band, put it on your hook, pull this through, and put it back on. Now you're going to continue this for about 92 rubber bands. I have one already finished, and it should look like this. But don't worry, we're not going to waste all 92 rubber bands. In the end, we will only need some of them. So now we're going to start hooking, sewing up. So we're going to pull this loop through the other loop, pull this tight. So now we don't have to hold it. So stick your hook in your first peg, grab your loop of your strand, pull this through until you get to your middle. Now it can just come right off. Now you're going to go to your next peg, put it on your hook, put your loop on, pull this through, pull this to your next middle, Now grab your next loop onto your hook, grab the strand, pull this through, and pull this through your strand. So basically, we're just putting the loops on our strand that we have made. So in the end, we can pull it tight and make our hat. Grab your next loops, put your strand on, and pull these through. Now pull all your strand through and take it off. Now grab your next loop, put your strand on, and pull this through your strand and take it off. Now you're going to continue this all the way around until you get back to where you started. I'll be right back. This is what it should look like when you take it off the loom. And you're just going to gently pull your strands. You don't want to pull them too tight because they may break, and you don't want them to break. There are many ways you can end this. You can leave it just like this and attach a pom-pom that I'm going to show you how to make. Or we can sew up the top. And to sew up the top, you're just going to tie your two strands together, one knot, and two knots. Don't make them too tight either. You're going to take your longest strand, go into the middle, and go all the way to the top as far as you can go, and stick it through both the front and the back part of the top of your hat. Now you're going to grab your big piece. You're just going to grab as many loops as you can from it and pull these through. Now you can just pull this just like that. Now we're going to go to the side, stick it closest to the top. Now grab your long strand, grab rubber bands, it doesn't matter which ones, pull this through, and now we're going to go to the other side, stick it all the way at the top, and grab your rubber bands and pull this through. Now you can tie your two strands together again. And now you're ready to attach a pom-pom, and I'll be right back to show you how. Now we're going to make the pom-pom. So to start, we're just going to take a rubber band, then take another one, slide this through, and then you're just going to fold it and pull one loop through the other and pull this tight. Now take another rubber band, put it in the center. You're going to pull one loop through the other and pull this tight. Now we're going to make another one. Take another rubber band, pull this through the center, and pull one loop through the other. Pull this tight. Now we're going to take another rubber band, pull this through the center, and pull one loop through the other, and pull this tight. as you're doing this, you're just going to cut one side. So I'm just going to cut this side. Just cut that rubber band in half. Then go to your next one and cut it in half. And the loop that you didn't cut, you're just going to slide it right on to your hook for both of these. Now you're just going to continue this. So pull one loop through the other, pull this tight, pull one loop through the other, pull this tight, now I'm going to cut one side and slide the other side on. Now we're going to do another one. Pull one loop through the other, pull this tight, pull one loop through the other, and pull this tight. Now you're just going to cut one side and leave the other side open and slide it on. As this continues to grow, you're going to have it it's not going to fit on, so you're going to have to attach it to another one. So you're just going to, every time, make another one of your pull one loop through the other, pull this through, pull this through, and you would pull this through, pull these rubber bands on, but since I already have one going, I'm just going to add it to this one. So I'm going to take one rubber band off, put it on this hook, and I'm just going to slide my loops on. So I'm just going to slide them over the top. And put this back on. So now I just added 3 more loops. And you can make yours however full you want to make it. And to attach it, you're just going to grab one strand, put the end on your hook, pull this through, both of those rubber bands, and pull your pom-pom down your strand, and we're going to tie it with the other strand. Make a knot, pull this through, make a knot, and pull this through. If you don't like how yours sits, you can always sew some rubber bands back in the back, make it sit up straight, or leave it like this. And for your extra rubber bands on your strand, you can just unloop it, make sure you have tied it first, and unloop it, or cut it, and pull your rubber bands off until you get to your last one that you tied. And you can just pull one loop through the other and tuck it in. And you can do the same for the other side. Snip it off. And you didn't waste all your rubber bands. So you can just pull these off all the way to the end and pull one loop through the other. And you have finished your hat. This is what it looks like when it's on, and it's not very comfortable, but it's cute and I love it. And if you liked making the phone case, the tangled bangle, and my hat on the rainbow loom using the garter stitch design, then please comment down below if you would like to learn how to use the knitting loom. I can teach you how to make hats, scarves, mittens, or whatever you would like me to teach you, because I love knitting. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial on how to make a rainbow loom hat. You can find me on Instagram at CraftLifeUSA. And don't forget to like us on Facebook, pin it on Pinterest, and subscribe right here on YouTube. I hope you're living a craft life just like me. Thanks for watching. Bye!